as one who, as said before, uh, was definitely eager to be in this conversation, definitely eager to have this opportunity to attend the World Council of Churches and to participate in the Global Ecumenical Theological Institute. I was aware that there would be challenges. I perhaps didn't foresee uh, some of the challenges that I did experience. I think the ones that I would like to lift up is the challenge that many of us know very well, even in our context here in America, is what it means to be hospitable to people from various contexts. Uh, so one critique I would say was the the context that we found ourselves in seemed to be very Eurocentric, from the teaching style to who was at the table to the ways in which uh, things were navigated. I don't see if it was very global in its way of making sure people from all backgrounds found a sense of home and hospitality. And that was something that was quite troubling, but definitely a learning experience on what it means for us to find ourselves in global spaces, that it's not easy and it takes works and it takes much intentionality and it takes being able to hear those persons who are different than us and hear their needs and be able to accommodate their needs. So that even looks like diversifying the faculty, diversifying the persons who were speaking. There were not many persons from certain contexts, such as South America, Africa, when there were persons in the program who were from these contexts, but there were not faculty members or presenters who represented these contexts. So that, of course, was quite troubling. And uh, I think the other thing is what it means for us to, what I personally experience when you're talking about justice in a global setting, and then you find yourself in this Olympics on who's really oppressed and who really has it bad, and we begin to often push our issues to the table as priority because they affect us directly or those in whom we love. Uh, and it was very important that we, as we talk about justice, that we're able to honor everyone's issues and oppressions and need for justice in their context as just as important as our own, and not attempting to play uh, the oppression Olympics or a need to belittle somebody's situation because it differs from ours. So I definitely experienced that, especially around sexuality. Uh, there's a deep need for me to be heard, but there's also a deep need for me to hear others. And there, it needs to be a commitment not to dismiss other person's realities and things that they face in their local context. So I think that that would definitely be a great addition, that we would begin to have healthy conversations around justice. If since that was our theme for the year, I don't know how well we hit that theme because it seemed like there were certain issues of justice that were overlooked. Another example would be talking about women and the treatment of women on the last day of the program for just a small amount of time. Kind of shows what we're highlighting as important when we have lots of women who are part of this Getty program, and a lot of those issues would have definitely uh, benefited from spending more time with them. So those are just some things. So it would be definitely, what it means to be hospitable. What does it mean to be intentionally diverse, intentionally uh, making space for people from this large and vast global context, as well as what does it mean for us to really make space at the table for everyone's issues as it relates to justice in their own context, and how we can not just compete, but how we can partner together, how we can hear one another and stand in solidarity across continents, across borders with each other. And it would have definitely been great if we had more space and time in our schedule, which I'm sure Jorge and Rachel pointed out that our schedules were very tight packed and not much time for interactions and building relationships. For relationships, I believe is core to humanism, that we begin to get to know one another and hear one another, and with the hopes that when we leave this place of the World Council of Churches, that these will be lifelong, lasting ecumenical relationships on a global scale, as we're able to stand together, although afar, but together, and continue these conversations on how we can be a church globally leading into peace and justice.